Он там ебало.
A seemingly out-of-control Russian missile has resulted in a major embarrassment for President Vladimir Putin. A Ukraine-bound projectile struck the Russian territory instead on Saturday, triggering a huge explosion, according to reports. The wayward missile, believed to be either a Kh-22 or Kh-32, was captured on a car dash cam video, falling and hitting the ground in Russia's Lipetsk region, some 350 miles from the war zone.
Он там ебало.
The explosion left a giant crater and is believed to have been the cause of a power cut that plunged 540 homes into darkness. The failed cruise missile is an expensive as well as embarrassing mistake for Russia, with the Kh-22 costing around $1.5 million, while the more sophisticated Kh-32 is valued at an eye-watering $4 million. The Putin-loyal Lipetsk regional government said that the explosion was the result of a spent stage of an aviation missile system, or non-operational debris. But other sources have dismissed this assessment. They have argued that the missile's shape was distinctly seen, and that a spent stage would not trigger such a massive explosion. The Exilanova Telegram channel claimed, in fact, the Kh-22/Kh-32 missile fell on Lipetsk region. Baza Channel, a Russian news outlet which boasts sources in law enforcement, reported, residents of a village in the Yeletsky district heard a loud explosion, after which their homes lost electricity, water, and in some places even mobile communications. According to the Ukrainian news outlet UNN, on the morning of February 1st, residents of a village in the Yelets district heard a loud rumble, after which they lost power and water. In the field, the locals saw a huge crater and thought it was an enemy missile or a UAV. No one is said to have been killed or injured in the explosion, though some property damage has been reported, according to a statement. A Russian UAZ Bukhanka hit a mine. Sappers were called, but it seems they only contributed to the explosion. Eventually, they managed to start the car. Sometimes fear of the commander's anger does amazing things.
У вас, мужики, нет ощущения, что здесь надо отсюда уйти вообще, не? Да тачка, блядь, тачка, ну, блядь, муха, все это, блин, как-то неправильно это. Да понятно.
Soldiers of Ukraine's 61st Brigade in the Kursk region effectively combine artillery and drones to counter Russian assaults. Artillery targets enemy groups, while drones strike individual soldiers, dislodging the enemy from cover. You can see the Russian soldier trying to run and Ukrainian drone catching him. As of early February 2025, Ukraine's 61st Mechanized Brigade, known as the Stepova Brigade, continues to play a significant role in the ongoing conflict within Russia's Kursk region. Russian is again trying to get away, but then pursuit and destruction. In late December 2024, soldiers from the 61st Mechanized Brigade successfully repelled a Russian assault near the village of Makhnovka. Here we can see Russian personnel losses. One by one, Russian soldiers are eliminated. That thwarted the advance of a Russian enemy group. In mid-January 2025, the brigade, in collaboration with the 33rd Big Cats Separate Assault Battalion, conducted a counterattack to retake positions in Makhnovka after North Korean infantry units. Ukrainian drones and artillery continue to strike Russian positions. Russians are attempting to retreat, but their routes have been cut off. Ukrainian FPV drones are striking Russian shelters. Russians are again decimated here. Throughout the Kursk offensive, which began in August 2024, the 61st Mechanized Brigade has been instrumental in Ukraine's efforts to establish a buffer zone and disrupt Russian military operations. The brigade's actions have demonstrated Ukraine's capability to conduct offensive operations within Russian territory, challenging previous perceptions of Russian invulnerability. The situation in the Kursk region remains dynamic, with the 61st Mechanized Brigade continuing to engage in operations aimed at countering Russian and Allied forces. Russia carried out a KAB strike on a boarding school in Sudzha, where only civilians were present. Around 100 people, mainly elderly, are trapped under the rubble. This is a deliberate war crime. A rescue operation is underway. Apti Alaudinov recorded a video attempting to justify the attack on the boarding school in Sudzha. He claimed there should not have been civilians present and discussed tracking missiles and aircraft.
You see, the Ukrainian side decided to make a move. Like they need to overshadow this topic about their killings, brutal and fascist actions. They need to cover up this subject. Today you say, the Russian side hit a boarding school. Perhaps you forgot that you can track the flights of planes, that you can track the flights of missiles, where things are flying from. Thank God there are entire programs that allow us to track all this. So there. The rockets you are talking about came from the Sumy direction. How could the Russians strike in such a way that our missiles flew to Sumy and then returned and hit the boarding school? How did that happen? I will tell you. Question number one. It's what you said, that there are no more civilians there. That you took them home because the pipes burst and it was cold for people. Now, question number two. When your atrocities became known and were already presented to the whole world, how did you decide to make amends for these crimes to the world community? You probably decided to show that the Russians allegedly struck their own citizens at the boarding school? No, that won't work for you. Why? Because we all know. Oh, what you are masters at this operation. The only thing is, Hollywood has already burnt out, and you're not very good at making these artistic films, as they say. It's not really working for you right now, because the Russians did not strike the Sudzha boarding school. And even if they had struck there shouldn't be any civilians at the Sudzha boarding school, as you said. I wonder what kind of people you are.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.